Marking a significant anniversary today on September 3rd, China is commemorating the 80th anniversary of the victory
This gathering today in commemoration of the victory also heralds a new beginning for all countries to work together to create a harmonious world and safeguard global peace.
Well, as you can see right there, front and center on this gate is the character Duan Men. The Chinese character Duan also conveys righteousness, which is consistent with the message of safeguarding international justice.
The leaders are now walking together towards the Tiananmen rostrum. It's a short walk from the Duanmen Gate we've been telling you about, which stands just north of the Tiananmen rostrum, to the rostrum itself.
And Joshi, you know, for many foreign leaders who have visited China before, the Tiananmen rostrum, or the Forbidden City, is a familiar sight. Many of them have been here before to the Forbidden City. However, this gathering here today holds a special significance.
Absolutely. The Tiananmen rostrum sits right in the heart of the Chinese capital, with viewing platforms that can overlook the Tiananmen Square. The leaders will be walking towards the rostrum. They will ascend to the viewing platform on the rostrum and view the military parade together.
Now, as they walk on the red carpet to make their way to the top of the Tiananmen rostrum, a little bit of background information about the structure. It was built as a ceremonial gate to the imperial city in the Ming Dynasty. It's witnessed the ties of Chinese history in the past 6 centuries.
And in 1937, Tiananmen Square witnessed the fall of Peking. In October 1945, Japanese invaders in North China officially surrendered at the square of the Hall of Supreme Harmony in the Forbidden City.
Today's commemoration is certainly a big national event, a military event as well, as troops and armaments are standing by ready for the inspection. It is also a significant diplomatic event, as heads of state, leaders of international organizations are convening here to review the commemoration and the parade.
The leaders are making full use of this time as they walk together to the Tiananmen rostrum, engaging in friendly chit-chat and conversations.
And today, the Tiananmen rostrum, steeped in the depths of history, will again witness new glory. It is a pretty long walk to ascend to the top of the Tiananmen rostrum.
With over 100 million casualties among soldiers and civilians worldwide, Chinese casualties were more than 35 million. And today is about commemorating the victory in that war, in the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression, as well as the World Anti-Fascist War. And now the leaders are arriving at that expansive viewing platform up on the Tiananmen rostrum.
And we understand that some of the veterans of the War of Resistance were given their own viewing spots on top of the Tiananmen rostrum. Crowds are welcoming China's top leader, as well as international dignitaries. We are seeing veterans sitting there, and President Xi Jinping and international dignitaries are shaking hands with a 99-year-old veteran, 100-year-old veteran from the 8th Route Army, 94-year-old veteran from the 8th Route Army, 102-year-old veteran from the new 8th Route Army, and from South China Guerrilla Force, 100-year-old veteran from the Kuomintang. And during the fight against the Japanese aggression, the Chinese people established a national united front to safeguard their homeland.
Obviously, the Chinese president was very pleased to see the veterans present up on the Tiananmen rostrum. He even introduced the veterans to his guests there, shaking hands with the veterans, greeting them, welcoming them to this very important commemoration.
And the veterans represent the legacies of this long-fought war. And their spirit of resilience, of peace, of perseverance still echo on every inch of China's soil now.
It's certainly a very heartwarming scene there to have the veterans seated up on the Tiananmen rostrum. They are the real heroes and role models, and they motivate us to keep pushing forward. The victory of the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression is a glory shared by the Chinese nation and also people worldwide who stand for justice. Professor Gao, Mr. Zhou, let's bring you in for this part. Obviously, the veterans are seated, out there on the Tiananmen rostrum so that they have an opportunity to participate in the commemoration today. What do you make of that arrangement, Professor Gao?
Well, I think this is really the right thing to do because they fought against the Japanese aggressors. They shed their blood, and they have always been honored by the People's Republic, by the Chinese people, and now they are in the center of this reviewing process of the parade to commemorate the 80th year anniversary of the victory against Japanese aggression. And I think we all hail them as the real heroes, defending China's sovereignty and territorial integrity and fighting off the Japanese aggressors.
Real heroes and real witnesses, not only to the atrocities of the war, but more importantly to the final victory. And we're so happy that they get to see the commemoration today. Mr. Zhou, your thoughts?
Well, I think I can't agree more with Victor Gao about the importance of having these veterans standing on Tiananmen Square. I think it's rare, It won't be easy for us to see these people right now because they're all very old people, but they're still alive, but they can still see how strong China is today, in which they have made their due and a great contribution. So I think that is indeed a great honor for them to be there and for us to see them there.
Now, many of these veterans fought under extremely harsh conditions: poverty, famine, the lack of military resources. What does their perseverance teach us about the spirits of, resilience and courage? And, besides honoring them in events like this, what more could we do, Professor Gao, to really weave their legacies more into everyday life?
I think these veterans 80 years ago, or more than 80 years ago, fought against Japanese aggressors not only as soldiers, but they were true representatives of the Chinese nation, true representative of the Chinese culture and the Chinese civilization. In their bodies, I can see the most splendid and the glorious part of the Chinese civilization. So they became the epitome of the Chinese nation. They became the epitome of the Chinese civilization. And by shedding blood for their own motherland, by fighting off foreign aggressors, they set an example for the future generation. So now we honor them as our national hero, and the younger generation draw inspiration from these veterans and learn lessons from them, and we become redoubled in our commitment to defending peace and defending China and defending the Chinese culture and ultimately the Chinese civilization.
You know, obviously, we're commemorating this day. We're inviting veterans up on the Tiananmen rostrum to carry on the spirit of the war of resistance against the Japanese aggression. Mr. Zhou, how do we do that? How do we make sure that the spirit of perseverance, the spirit of never surrender, the spirit of defending your motherland lives on in today's world?
Well, these people are actually old soldiers, right? And old soldiers never die. So what they have left us are actually a litany of fine traditions. But if you look at the PLA today, you would find it so interesting to see that how small they were at that time and how ill-equipped they were at that time. But on the contrary, today, China is almost the opposite, right? China is having the largest armed force in the world, and in a moment we're going to see all the modern weaponry and combat platforms. But still, this kind of fine traditions are basically in the heart and in the blood of our modern-day soldiers, because that's really matter, for us if you are going to another war. So you have to think of where you come from, right? And what kind of traditions are already placed in you. So these people basically are the very sources of a fine tradition.
How can remembering their sacrifices and contributions inspire values that are still relevant today? Professor Gao.
Well, I think they are the true Chinese nationals and our heroes. But allow me to mention, behind these veterans, I also see those who fell on the battleground, who really sacrificed their lives for the Chinese nation. So I think we not only see these veterans who are the true representative of those heroes fighting against Japanese aggressors, but they are also representatives of all the millions of the Chinese soldiers who shed their blood, who sacrificed their life, and they too become the national heroes for the current generation of the Chinese nation and the future generations. And I think by honoring them, we honor ourselves, we honor our national history and our Chinese civilization, and we honor peace. That is the most important thing.
You know, we talked about international solidarity towards ending the Second World War, and the international solidarity is also present today with the turnout of those international dignitaries that have arrived in Beijing. You're looking at light pictures of the Tiananmen Square that's fully decorated for the commemoration today. There are the year-marking installations that show the years 1945 and 2025.
over the 80 years from 1945 to 2025. Today, China is safeguarding world peace and contributing to the progress of human civilization with fearless strength and determination. The Great Wall symbolizes the unyielding spirit of the Chinese nation. This great nation never bows to any enemy or any force. Those who dare to invade us are doomed to crash into the Iron Great Wall with bloodshed.
Chinese people's deep love towards the motherland can be seen from the steadfast gaze of the honor guards. When their patriotism erupts like a volcano, there will be no insurmountable hurdles or unachievable feats for them. The wheel of history never stops. Under the strong leadership of the Communist Party of China, the Chinese nation, with a firm grip on its own destiny, is marching forward staunchly and proudly.
From the monument of the people's heroes to the national flagpole, and from the great victory to the great rejuvenation, the Chinese nation has walked a long way of innumerable difficulties and hardships.
This is a road to national independence and people's liberation. It is also a road to national dignity, prosperity, and strength, and a road to Chinese modernization and a global community with a shared future.
The national anthem, March of the Volunteers, which was born during wartime, will soon be played. It was written in 1935 in the early years of the war against Japanese aggression.
Raise the national flag and sing the national anthem.
请坐下。
Please be seated. I invite General Secretary of the CPC Central Committee, President of the People's Republic of China, and Chairman of the Central Military Commission, Comrade Xi Jinping, to deliver an important speech. All my fellow Chinese across the nation, Your Excellencies, heads of state and government, and representatives of international organizations, distinguished guests, all officers and soldiers participating in the parade, comrades and friends. Today, we gather here to solemnly commemorate the 80th anniversary of the victory of the Chinese People's War of Resistance against the Japanese aggression and the World Anti-Fascist War. It is an occasion for us to remember history, honor fallen heroes, cherish peace, and create a better future. On behalf of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China, the National People's Congress, the State Council, the National Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, and the Central Military Commission, I would like to pay high tribute to our veteran soldiers and comrades, patriots, and officers who fought in the war of resistance against Japanese aggression, and to the Chinese nationals from home and abroad who made important contributions to our victory. I would also like to express my sincere thanks to foreign governments and friends that supported and assisted the Chinese people in resisting aggression. I also extend a warm welcome to our guests from around the world who are with us today. Comrades and friends, the Chinese People's War of Resistance against the Japanese aggression was a great war fought with tenacity and valor. Under the banner of the National United Front against Japanese aggression, established at the initiative of the Communist Party of China, the Chinese people stood up to fight the formidable enemy with an iron will and formed a great war with flesh and blood to defend the nation, and ultimately achieved the first complete victory in resisting foreign aggression in modern times. The Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression was an important part of the World Anti-Fascist War. With huge national sacrifice, the Chinese people made major contributions to saving human civilization and safeguarding world peace. History cautions us that humanity rises and falls together. Only when all countries and nations treat each other as equals, coexist in peace, and support each other, can we uphold common security, eradicate the root cause of war, and prevent the reoccurrence of historical tragedies. Comrades and friends, The Chinese nation is the great nation that is never intimidated by any bullies and always values independence and forges ahead. In the past, when faced with critical struggles between good and evil, light and darkness, progress and reaction, the Chinese people rallied together to defy the enemy. They fought for the survival of the country, for the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation, and for justice of the whole humanity. Today, humanity again has to choose between peace and war, dialogue and confrontation, win-win cooperation and zero-sum game. The Chinese people firmly stand on the right side of history and the progress of human civilization. We will remain committed to the path of peaceful development and join hands with all peoples around the world in building a community with a shared future for humanity. The Chinese People's Liberation Army has been and will always be the heroic armed forces that the party and the people can fully trust and rely on. All service members should faithfully perform their sacred duties, speed up the building of a world-class military, and firmly safeguard China's sovereignty, unity, and territorial integrity. All service members should provide strategic support for the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation and make greater contributions to the peace and development of the world. History carries the legacy of the past and inspires the future. On a new journey in a new era, the Chinese people of all ethnic groups should, under the strong leadership of the Communist Party of China, follow Marxism-Leninism, Mao Zedong thought, Deng Xiaoping theory, the theory of three represents, and the scientific outlook on development, and fully implement the thoughts on socialism with Chinese characteristics for the new era. We should stay firmly on the path of socialism with Chinese characteristics and carry forward the great spirit of the war of resistance. We should press ahead with enterprise and resolve, and advance in unity the cause of building China into a great country on all fronts and realizing great national rejuvenation through China's modernization. The great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation is irresistible. The noble cause of peace and development of humanity will prevail. The military parade now begins. Markers in position.
The parade guards mark positions and boundaries at the parade ground. 60 soldiers will line up in front of the eastern and western ornament columns on the Tiananmen Square.
Marching with steadfast footsteps and imposing bearing, the ironclad troops showcase their unshakable faith, strong conviction, strict discipline, and firm commitment to their duties.
standing firm on the ground of the motherland and bearing the hope of the Chinese nation. When President Xi's car rides past the troops, the soldiers shout, "Follow the party's command, fight to win, forge exemplary conduct. Justice will prevail, peace will prevail, the people will prevail."
Follow the party's command sets the military's political orientation. Fighting to win is the basic function of the military and the fundamental objective of its development. Forging exemplary conduct demonstrates the Army's nature and principle.
Justice will prevail, peace will prevail, the people will prevail. These three phrases were the closing lines in President Xi's speech 10 years ago, when the country marked the 70th anniversary of the victory of Chinese people's war of resistance against Japanese aggression and the World Anti-Fascist War. Chinese people defeated the Japanese forces and enveloped the invaders. They asserted their role in the battlefields and achieved victory in the war for national liberation.
Since the founding of the People's Republic of China in 1949, the PLA has also undertaken the tasks of national defense and socialist construction, while transforming itself into a more revolutionary and modernized military.
Alongside the latest generation of conventional weapons, the parade will feature unmanned intelligence systems, underwater combat units, cyber and electronic forces, and hypersonic weapons, highlighting the PLA's growing capacity to harness emerging technologies, adapt to the evolving character of warfare, and prevail in future conflicts.
Just as China's weaponry has seen remarkable evolution over the years, the Chinese military has also continuously strengthened itself by reinforcing the primacy of political guidance and advancing comprehensive reforms.
China pursues a national defense policy that is defensive in nature. China will never seek hegemony, expansion, or spheres of influence.
Today, the PLA protects China and its people while making significant contributions to safeguarding world peace. It is the largest contributing country for peacekeepers among the permanent members of the UN Security Council.
China has formulated a three-step development strategy for modernizing national defense and the armed forces to achieve the centenary goals of strengthening the PLA by 2027, realize the modernization of national defense and the armed forces by 2035, and fully build the military into a world-class one by 2050.
The centenary objectives state that by 2027, China will accelerate the integrated development of mechanization, informationization, and intelligentization, accelerate the modernization of military theory, organizational forms, personnel, and weaponry, and prioritize quality and efficiency to enhance operational efficiency of military systems, and optimize the utilization of defense resources and promote the synchronized growth of defense and economic strengths. Warplanes that form the aerial echelons will take off from several airports and fly over the Tiananmen Square.
A total of 45 formations and echelons are involved in the Grand Parade. During the parade march past, airborne flag-guarding echelons, foot formations, battle flag formations, armament columns, and aerial echelons will pass through or fly past Tiananmen Square in order. The parade is organized under a wartime command system and will involve thousands of troops, over 100 aircraft, and hundreds of ground armaments.
Commence the march past.
Flag guides the direction. Flag pulls strength. The march past begins with the airborne flag guard echelon.
Accompanied by impassioned military music, the flag of the CPC, the national flag of the People's Republic of China, and the flag of the People's Liberation Army are fluttering high in the air. 26 helicopters form huge numerical shapes of 8 and 0. 3 helicopters are bearing the banners that read, "Justice will prevail, peace will prevail, the people will prevail." These messages are a great truth inspired by history, a solemn proclamation of the right course, and a clarion call in an era of peace and development.
The Chinese nation always cherishes peace and takes side with historical correctness, fairness, and justice. The People's Military will always be an iron great wall in defending national sovereignty, security, and development interests, as well as a pillar of world peace.
A total of 45 formations and echelons participate in the parade, and most of the weapons and equipment are shown to the public for the first time. It not only embodies the continuation of the heroic armed forces during the War of Resistance, but also demonstrates the new look of the people's military in the new era with enhanced political awareness and its new structure and force composition, new progress in modernization, and new achievements in enhancing combat readiness.
First to be inspected are 13 foot formations. After a comprehensive and deepened reform, the People's Military has formed a new system of services and arms. 4 service formations, 4 armed formations, and the formation of the armed police.
Type 100 fighting vehicle are highly intelligent and capable of coordinated combat. The new generation armored units of the PLA Army's ground assault forces demonstrate the strong ability of capturing strongholds with mobility and piercing fortification.
Coming up next is the amphibious assault vehicle formation, made up of amphibious wheeled armored assault vehicles, infantry fighting vehicles, and self-propelled howitzers. Capable of storming the shoreline for assault with strong mobility and flexibility, they are key armaments for the Marine Corps to take the lead in landing operations and make key area seizure.
Marching towards us is the imposing airborne assault formation. Diverse airborne armaments in the formation are able to make long-distance air drops and provide heavy-equipped maneuvering support. They are sharp weapons for the Army to make rapid response and deep strike.
Marching forward is the formation of long-range artillery for subjugation and precision strike. The 2 types of 191 box-shaped rocket artilleries are capable of making strike and providing support, expanding the Army's capability in terrestrial battle.
Next to be reviewed are 3 formations of the Maritime Combat Group. First comes the carrier-based air defense weapon formation. Being reviewed are 4 types of armaments that compose the 2 formations of the Logistics and Equipment Support Group are to be reviewed. The Logistics Support Formation consists of field ambulances, field hospital installations, fuel transport and refueling vehicles, field hot meal providing system. They have greatly enhanced modern logistics support for the troops.
Among the equipment support formation are light repair vehicles, wheeled emergency rescue and repair vehicles, disassembled and assembled repair vehicles, and electromechanical maintenance vehicles. It's like an armored hospital for weapons and equipment.
Next to be inspected is the Strategic Strike Group, consisting of 4 formations. First, we have the Cruise Missile Formation, with naval, air, and rocket forces being organized into a joint group. The Changjian 20A, Yingji 18C, Changjian 1000 missiles can implement long-range precision strikes, creating multi-domain deterrence.
Speed is key to victory. Now we have the hypersonic missile formation. The new types of missiles, Yingji 21, Dongfeng 17, and Dongfeng 26D, can fly at an extremely high speed, excel at breaking through blockage, and hit targets with high precision. They're vital to victory during all-weather combat.
Coming up next for inspection is
The echelon of early warning and command aircraft. The echelon of Kongjin 500A early warning planes and J-16 fighters, and the echelon of Kongjin 600 early warning planes and J-15T shipborne fighters pass through in turn for inspection.
are capable of long-distance range, patrol in a large area, and attacks outside its defense zone. Flying into the sky. Let's honor our heroes, uphold justice, and safeguard peace. This land and people will forever remember the fallen heroes, whose spirits are immortal.
The commemoration of the 80th anniversary of the victory of the Chinese People's War of Resistance against the Japanese aggression and the World Anti-Fascist War has now concluded.